All right, today we're going to make a key lime pie with key limes we've grown that have been growing since about January or so inside of our house. We brought them out. Now they're big enough that we can use to actually make something. So let's take a look. So this is the same key lime tree I mentioned in a previous video. We're going to start taking these key limes off. We really need about 15 to 20 to make a good, enough citrus taste in the pie. So we're going to get to work here and let the remaining flowers, or the newest batches of flowers, which is quite a few, start to get the nutrients so we can go grow some more and make our next pies or whatever else we're going to make. Let's see how many we got there. 7. Let's move around to the other side. I know there's quite a few over here. Here's a big one. A couple of them. They're very fragrant as you pick them. That was a good size. That's just the oil within their skin that's getting pushed out the pores, I believe. So as we do that, we get it all over our fingers. Yeah, it smells really good. Some of them that have gone a little longer have a little bit sweeter accent instead of just being sour, which my kids tend to like those a lot more than just the sour ones. Some of these are on here kind of tight, which means they're probably not all the way ready, but we'll make it work. Come on. There we go. Another one over here. Let's see, any other big ones that we can get that aren't blending in at the moment. Let's see how many we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Somewhere in that range. What am I missing? These are all grown here in Indiana, so they're not going to match maybe what you see in a store necessarily. But it is fun. I don't see any other large ones hiding, so let's go inside and see what the missus can do putting together the pie.
Okay, so we are gonna make our first key lime pie, homemade, and for starters, we are gonna start by rinsing the key limes. Okay, so for starters, we are gonna focus on making the homemade crust, which is really simple. 12 graham crackers, 1/3 cup of brown sugar, and 6 tablespoons of melted butter. We're just gonna put that in this bag and beat it all together. Okay, so we have our graham crackers and a special guest, Parker Faye. We are gonna add our brown sugar. Do you wanna cut that out? Because, okay, so we have our special guest, Parker Faye. She is gonna help us beat this pie crust in. So we have our 12 graham crackers. We just added the brown sugar, 1/3 cup of that, and 6 tablespoons of melted butter, okay? So she is gonna beat this until it's perfect. So Parker, you just kind of do this, okay? Every now and again, we might have to shake the bag, okay? Go ahead. This process can take a few minutes. You just wanna make sure it's very thinly grated or chopped. If not, it's gonna be chunky and we don't like a chunky crust. Perfect. Love it. Okay. Awesome. I love it. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I have my key lime shirt on. specific for this day. This was a lot of growing in the making, so we're super proud of Dad for taking the time and energy of growing these plants, and we can't wait to tell you guys how it actually tastes. So we are almost there. Parker, give it about 10 more good pumps, and then we'll be done. There you go. Not that hard. Easy. Good. Okay. All right. Okay, so we have our pie crust ready to be put in our pie plate. I have the oven at 375. For the actual pie, it needs to be at 350. But just for the crust, we're looking at 375. So we're just gonna focus on taking this and sort of just distributing it out. Okay? Would have been easier just to use a store-bought pie crust, but that's not for us. And my saying is, the more butter, the better. This may look a little wet to you guys, but it's gonna turn out just perfect. I try to even it out to where I can put a little bit on the edges too, because in my opinion, the crust is one of the very best parts. So once we do this, we'll move on to the actual filling, which is the best part. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the oven for maybe 10 minutes or so. See how it is, check on it. It needs to be completely done before we add our actual filling. The reason why you wanna add a little bit more butter, if not, you're gonna re-bake this again at 350. It's gonna be super dry. So you wanna make sure you have that little bit of extra butter. Like I said, 6 tablespoons, but per 12 graham crackers, mine are heaping tablespoons. So, okay, we're gonna put this in the oven and we'll be back. Okay, so now while that crust is baking, we are gonna focus on our filling. So for starters, the key limes typically, so the recipe calls for 3/4 cup. Typically it takes about 18 to 20 key limes to get you 1 cup. We're gonna focus, we have 17 here, so we're gonna focus first on juicing these, and if we need more, we can go back and get us some more. So we will have another helper that helps us with this. I'm just gonna focus on cutting a few in half first. Oh my gosh, I can smell them from here. Wow. Very fragrant. Parker, you wanna come around and help me juice these?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna use this juicer. Okay. Go ahead and press down all the way. That's excellent. Okay. Add a few more. Wonderful. And like I said, really if we need more, we can get more, but I think 17 should do the trick. Perfect. Doesn't that smell good? Okay. Love it. And we're gonna save these to the side because we are gonna use the zest of some of them for the filling. Okay. All right. Let's focus on cutting a few more and then we will be back.
Okay, so now we're going to be juicing a few more. So when you juice them, you want to make sure that you put the gut side of them down in there, and so that it'll be so that you juice them the right way, because you don't want to juice them the wrong way. Okay. All right.
Perfect timing.
It's really cool that we're actually finally making a key lime pie. We've waited a few years to do this, and now we're actually doing it, so that's really cool.
Okay, so 17 key limes got us right at 3/4 cups. We have that juice. I'm gonna zest, get some key lime zest, if you will. And this part is the most tedious, but it's worth it, that extra flavor. Okay, so we have all of our lime juice and we have some zest, and we're gonna add that to the bowl. That's a almost a tablespoon of zest, key lime zest. We're also going to add 1 cup of Greek yogurt. We chose the vanilla Greek yogurt. That brings you the most flavor. So just 1 cup of that. And then we're going to add 2 cans of sweetened condensed milk. 2 cans in there. Make sure you get all that out. Once this is in here, we're just going to blend lightly. The reason why I don't add eggs to this, there's plenty of protein given from the Greek yogurt, so you don't have to have eggs for this recipe, which is great. If you do not want to use the sweetened condensed milk, there's also coconut condensed milk and I believe almond. So if you're a dairy-free gal or guy or person, then you feel free to use those options. We are going with the sweetened condensed milk. So 2 cans of that. Same thing goes for the yogurt. There are plenty of other options out there. Okay, so we have our pie crust, which is ready for its filling. We added all the ingredients. We're just gonna whip gently for a little bit, make sure all the ingredients are blended well. We're gonna add it in here and put it in our oven at 350 for 15 minutes. Once it's there and it's fully cooked, we want to make sure that it's completely chilled before you eat it, although it will be tempting. So, okay, we should be about ready. It smells so good, guys. Okay, let's turn this off. I'm going to put a bowl under it because I'm certain that we will have little ones that want to try the drippings. Okay, so let's give her a pour into the pie crust. You can see the little zest. Oh my gosh, guys, that looks fantastic. All right, I'm so excited. All right. It's gonna be delicious. Okay, I don't know if you can see the zest that's on there. It's beautiful. Now I did save a few key limes for once it's completely finished and it's chilled. I'll zest some on top and probably put some whipped cream around the edges or Cool Whip, whatever your little heart desires. But for now, she's stunning. So I'm gonna put it in for 350 for 15 minutes. So in the meantime, we are gonna cut up this Persian lime. Look at this. It's huge. We didn't necessarily, typically I would have used a key lime and cut it as a garnish around. Didn't have enough just yet, but we will here soon. So I'm just gonna rinse this and slice this open and use it as a garnish around, which we will be eating. So I'm anxious. I want you guys to watch this with me. See how juicy this is. Oh my gosh. Wow, that smells very good. So I'm just gonna slice a few slices out of this and we will layer it over around the edges and it'll look beautiful. So this Persian lime we've actually been growing, well, my husband's been growing for about 3 years. We've gotten some smaller ones that we've eaten because we were anxious and, I mean, why not? But to say the least, this is the biggest one thus far. And that tree, I don't know if you've seen in previous videos, it's definitely giving us, by the end of the season, we are gonna have a lot of limes. But what I'm gonna do is just slice them. And if you can imagine around that pie crust, just layer these right around with a dollop of whipped cream in between, and it'll be the perfect garnish. Okay, so it is done. Ooh, she turned out beautifully. Oops. Wow, guys, she set perfectly. Yeah, that's exactly what we want. So I'm gonna let it sit here for a few minutes before I put it in the fridge for until it's completely chilled. Once it's chilled, we will add the toppings and enjoy. Okay guys, so we have several kids that are ready to get in the pool. While we're waiting for this to completely chill down, I do have the rest of the zest of my key limes, but then also our Persian limes that we're going to use as a garnish. But I just want to thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as we're going to enjoy the taste of this. And of course, shout out to Craig for growing these limes. We can't wait. Like and subscribe, and we will maybe show you guys the end result of how great it's going to taste. Have a good day.